Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what part of the world you are in. This is the Big Girl Diary. Um, this is not my normal video. I really don't do politics on Big Girl Diary, but however, it had a lot of social aspects to it, so I thought I would bring it here. Now, you're going to see me in rare form because when I'm on Politics with Laura, it's not politics is not a smiley thing. And plus, politics is not a spectator sport, it is a participatory sport. So now you're going to see me participating. And this is about Brittney Griner. And I start reviewing some things. I thought I would let some time pass a little bit to see if more news will come out, and it did. I gotta say, on one hand, Brittany has a lot of mierda with her. She does. Um, One thing about identity politics is that you have a tendency to switch sides. You know, you're this, you're they. Identity poli- Identity politics has a way of compartmentalizing everything, and then you're a lesbian one day, and then from there, then you're against. What is it? You don't stand for the flag, and then you're against America because of what is done, and then police brutality. Now, and it is compartmentalized. I get it. However, she took it a step further. Now, I learned that Brittany went over to Russia. She'd been going over there to play ball because they pay her more. She was making what, a million five over there in Russia, while they were paying her like what, three or four times less in the women's league for the Phoenix Suns. Fine. I had no problem with that. Now, when you demonstrate a certain image that you're not going to stand for the flag because you're against for the flag, you're against the Pledge of Allegiance, fine. I'm not talking about police brutality because it has nothing to do with this situation. And please do not bring police brutality into this because it's not about that. Keep that in mind. And then I guess on some level, she put, and I really can't say, I could only assume, and I don't like working off of assumptions. So I'm going to leave the LGBTQ out of this because that really has very little to do with this. Well, the political part, but I'm not talking about the political part. Now, I saw a couple of articles and I'm just thinking, interesting. But what really led me to do this really irked me. It irked me because you have individuals, you have individuals that like to take top shots. And this right here is more towards liberals. Liberals do this. Now, I had to take a step back and look at the liberal agenda. And if you're a liberal and you're offended by what I'm saying, then yeah, I'm talking about you too. Liberals have a tendency to look at people's intelligence and then say something to the effect that, oh, Griner is very articulate. Now, I want you to understand how much of a buffoon you sound like when you do things like that. You really show your unconscious or conscious bias. I don't want to speak for you. And liberals, you do that all the time, and you need to stop. You need to stop it because everyone who has had education is articulate. Now, to what level? That's a different story. You need to stop it because you're really letting your racism come out whenever you do stuff like that. And I'm trying to be polite by calling it unconscious bias, but we all know what it really is. Okay? So just stop with that mess. And reporters, you do the same. All right. What I wanted to hone in on is this. I found this interesting. And this is in the Think, opinion analysis and essays. And I'll have these articles in a description. In 2020, amid widespread Black Lives Matter protests to cries police brutality and racism, Griner stated that the national anthem anthem shouldn't be played during games and refused to be on the floor while it played. Griner is an articulate athlete, which I have a problem with right there. And her intentions was always clear. I'm going to come back to that. I do not mean that in any disrespect to our country. My dad was a Vietnam vet and a law enforcement officer for 30 years. She told the Arizona Republic at the time, I wanted to be a cop before basketball. I do have pride for my country. Now, here's the issue when you have what do they call it? They call it cognitive dissonance, to where you see one thing which you want to be. She wants to be a cop, right? Or wanted to be a cop. But then when she sees the behaviors of some cops, and just the fact that I have to say some cops is an issue. Some cops. So then she decided not to, and that is what made her not stand for the flag. Now, I get it. If you ever listen to the Star Spangled Spanner, sorry, they only play 3 stanzas. They don't play all 4. If you go to the last stanza, it shows you how racist it really is. And whether if you want to believe me, don't believe me, look it up for yourself to where they talk about the slaves and the Harlan's blood in the streets because they're gonna go and delete those people. Don't believe me, look it up. I understand where she's coming from, but here's the twist. When she goes over to Russia and then she gets caught, and many people are saying this, and I would be remiss if I didn't say it, and that's when she became American. Was when she was over there having those issues. And they even made her take a DNA test. Where is it at? Now, they had to know exactly what penal colony to put her in, the one for men or women. And when you look at her, you really, how can I say this? You really do not have an idea, and they didn't have an idea. And someone pointed something else out to me that I thought it was very, very interesting. Um, they can say that they didn't have an idea whether she was a man or a woman. Now, whatever she has done to herself, I don't know, but it was stated that maybe they wanted to make sure that she wasn't a clone. You're like, BGD, what are you talking about? A clone. Look up the boys from Brazil. They've been doing this since the 1940s, and I'm not going to get into the history of it. You could research it yourself. And if you need more confirmation, then look up the sheep Lucy. back in the 1990s, and I'll leave it as that. So they put her in the woman's penal colony. Now, here's the interesting part right here. This is where and Biden and the politics. Biden is supposed to uphold the Constitution. That is his job, to uphold the Constitution. The Senate's job is to pass laws and not only develop laws, but they are more of the democracy side. Don't believe me? Look in the Constitution. Look anything after the 13th Amendment, the 14th Amendment, no, the 12th Amendment on down. That's where you get into democracy. The United States is a republic. But don't believe me? Look it up. And please don't sit there and type, well, this is a democracy. I'm not going to get into it on this channel. Now we can get into it with politics with Laura, then we can take that over there. But Brittney Griner, I I I don't know. I really don't know where to put her because she has so many twists and turns and dare I say hypocrisies with her. And her hypocrisies are busting out the seams. Because on the one hand, I'm anti-American. And then on the other hand, oh, I love America because I'm over here in Russia. I made more money here, but I messed up. But America, this, that, and the other. But I can smoke, whatever herb that comes in oil. But I can't do that over here. And that right there's an issue because this is what I like to do, and I could do it in America. You see all these different hypocrisies? I mean, it's like talking out of both sides of your mouth. That's my issue with her. And when you don't stand for anything, and I have to admit, she doesn't stand for anything. She just seems like that. She goes with the wind, whichever way the wind blows. That's that is the way that she goes. But the only one thing that I see from what I have read that she stands firm on is her sexuality. That is it. You can disagree with me all you want. Show me where I'm wrong. Okay, I'm not going to wait anymore because it's not a live stream. Oh my goodness, I'm so silly. I'm so silly. But the thing that bothered me the most, this is what really bothered me the most, hmm, was the trade. Now, Griner has showed, shall I say, distaste for the United States and the Constitution. And no, let me back that up. Let me back that up. Let me walk it back. Walk it back. I'm not going to say this. Okay, I'm going to say lack of clarity. She showed lack of clarity. Now, the one who was firm in his clarity, in conviction through and through, was Paul Whelan, the Marine. Now, from my understanding, he has a little issue here and there, but who doesn't? Not to the extreme that Brittney Griner has expressed. But they took her because of the social push. You had many people pushing for her. Fine. Okay. I get it. Biden. Let me lean in on this one so I can make sure that you hear me. Biden, you did a terrible job negotiating Not only did you make yourself look like a heel, but you put the rest of the Americans at risk. You have shown the world, and I did it on Politics with Laura, you have shown the world that you care more about celebrities than you do about the people that protect this country. That's what you have shown. Now you're not only the laughing stock of the world, but you made the United States not only a laughing stock of the world, but you also made us that much more unsafe. You should have drawn a better deal. I would say former President Bush would have made a better deal. I would think maybe President Obama would have done better. I know former President Donald Trump would have done a better deal. You failed on so many different levels. But I'm going to get off my soapbox. And again, liberals, you can call Republicans or conservatives racist all you want. And if your whole idea of what a racist is when somebody says something that hurts your feelings, you have no idea what you're speaking about. And you need to stop it. Do this. You're doing this, right? Do this. Racism has nothing to do with hurting your feelings. Now, I would say by you calling people racist when you run around and say, oh, Brittney is so articulate. That is what you will call, um, what would you call that type of racism? Because according to you, it is. It is racism because you're hurting someone's feelings. But it's really implicit bias, whether if it's unconscious. No, it's unconscious bias. You do it so much, it's so ingrained in you that you don't understand what you're doing. Okay, let me not get political. I'm gonna leave it right there. So, based on that, what do you think? Do you think that Brittney Griner, she is more than what she seems? Okay. On that note, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you did. Because whether if I'm talking about court cases, like Johnny Depp or Marilyn Manson, whether if I talk about big girls, big guys and their delusions of grandeur, of it being okay for being big and everybody gotta go according to it, or whether I'm talking about celebrity mess, Amber Heard destroyed her life. Whether it doesn't matter what I'm talking about, but I want to thank you because you could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. Time is something that you'll never get back. You can get back something from your cousin that owes you money and taking their time giving it back, but please help continue supporting me. Keep on subscribing. I'm past 1,000. I am so grateful. Continue to help me to grow to get to the next level. Time is something that you never get back, and I hope that my videos were worth your time. I want to thank you for stopping by.